Morning, Cowboys fans. Welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast right here on FanStream Sports. Bright and early, 7 a.m. Welcome in. Hope you're up. Appreciate you being here with us. Eating your cream-filled donuts. Eating your Raisin Bran. Grape Nuts. Anybody eat Grape Nuts anymore? Man, I miss Grape Nuts. I loved Grape Nuts, but I had to put a butt ton of sugar on it. Does it still count? Probably doesn't count as healthy, but I did. I loved Grape Nuts when I had the teeth to eat Grape Nuts, and then but I had to just cover it with sugar. Then you do the milk. Then you stir it up. Then you eat your Grape Nuts, and they're nice and sweet. And then you have a bowl of sugar milk left over. And then you just, with some of the grape nut residual, whatever, and then you just drink the sugar milk. Do I need to create a brand? Don't steal this idea from me. Do I need to, create a new sugar milk drink? Like an energy drink? What's it? Muscle Milk is out there. I don't think it's real milk, though, obviously. I think that's just a whatever branding. But sugar milk, breakfast of champions. I guess that's already taken. Huh. Don't steal my idea. Might look into sugar milk breakfast beverage or something. I do miss Grape Nuts. I might have to go get some Grape Nuts. You guys tell me what your favorite way to eat Grape Nuts is. Most of y'all are going to say throw it in the trash. But we are not here to talk about Grape Nuts or Raisin Bran or cream-filled donuts or any of that. Appreciate everybody popping in for another Cowboys discussion bright and early this morning. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on any one of our YouTube channels, including the new Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz podcast YouTube channel or any of the FanStream Sports channels. We would love you everywhere. And if you're listening to that recorded podcast, 214-937-0569 is the FanStream Sports Studio text line, available day or night, 24/7 for any of our shows, any of our hosts, any of our employees. Might be creepy if you text our accounting girl on the text line, but you're welcome to do that if you know who she is and what she looks like. Oh, never mind. I'm just saying. But yeah, make sure you tell us who you are, where you're texting from, and what your question or comment is. We might put you on the show. You never know. So today I've got a question that every Cowboys fan that's listening, I'm sure we're all going to be paying attention as training camp gets closer and closer and closer. Are the Dallas Cowboys about to unleash the most aggressive passing attack that we've seen in years? Or are they setting Dak Prescott up to take an absolute beating? Because the signs are there. Brian Schottenheimer is the head coach now. He's made it crystal clear he wants his offense to be explosive. Dallas has added speed at wide receiver. They've talked repeatedly about creating more chunk plays instead of methodically marching down the field. In other words, bombs away. And on paper, I absolutely love it. But football is not played on paper, except for paper football, which is fun and another piece of my youth that I miss. Don't play paper football where the triangle ball and you shoot it between the. How did y'all do it? Did you do it like that? Or did you I always did it like that because you rest your hands on the. Or maybe it was like that because you rest your hands on the table. But it's wider. But if you just did it like that, I guess you rest your wrists on the table. Whatever. I don't know. I think I always did it like that. I was probably cheating for the other guy. But yeah, football is played in the trenches. And this offensive line, as we discussed yesterday, still has plenty of issues. And for years, going back to Jay Jeezy, going back to the Jason Garrett days, Cowboys fans have complained about the same thing. Well, lots of things. But one of the things was this offense is boring. Too many curls, too many quick outs, too many 3-yard passes on 3rd and 8. And all of that is true. Whether it was Jason Garrett, whether it was Mike McCarthy, if that, I don't know if that was just the philosophy at times or if they were just protecting the football or what it was. But sometimes Dallas looked like it was more interested in avoiding mistakes than creating explosive plays. And I feel like that's changing. Because Schottenheimer has repeatedly talked about attacking defenses, stretching the field, being unpredictable, all of those things. And honestly, that's kind of music to my ears. And it's got to be music to Dak Prescott's ears too. Because I think a lot of people forget how good Dak Prescott can be throwing the ball down the field. When he's protected, when he has the confidence, when he has the time, when receivers are willing to run those routes and able to run those routes, and they can win those routes downfield, Dak Prescott is extremely dangerous. We've seen it. He had that connection with Amari Cooper. He's had shots down the field with CeeDee Lamb. He had chemistry like that with Brandon Cooks. We've seen it last year with George Pickens. Dak can absolutely pull the trigger. He is not afraid to do that. The question has never been about his arm or his willingness. The question has always been, can he stay upright long enough to do that? And that's where this conversation gets interesting. Dallas, of course, runs it back with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They brought in Marquez Valdez-Scantling. CeeDee Lamb can beat anybody on any level. Jonathan Mingo has size if he's going to be around. They drafted Anthony Smith. The rookie receivers are going to be hungry, and this room's got speed. Real speed, not just track speed, football speed. It's a kind of speed that forces safeties to backpedal sometimes. And that can open running lanes. It can create one-on-one opportunities. This has the potential to be one of the most dangerous receiver groups in football, number one, and number two, that Dak Prescott has ever played with. But the whole catch of this is that those routes take time to develop. You can't throw a 45-yard route in 2 seconds. Receivers got to have time. Quarterbacks have to have time to let those routes develop, to let those guys get down there, which brings us right back to the offensive line. How much confidence do you have in this group today? Tyler Smith, I'm not worried. Cooper Beebe, I liked what I saw as a rookie. Tyler Booker, first rounder? We have concerns. Tyler Guyton, Terrence Steele. Dak could spend a lot of time looking at the sky rather than looking down the field, and that's what worries me. That's not just bad for Dak, that's bad for everybody. And another angle of this, I think it's lost on everybody. Dak turns 33 years old this season. He's not the young quarterback who can simply outrun pressure and shrug off punishment anymore. He's battled injuries. The big one, of course, being the broken leg and dislocated ankle, the calf injuries, thumb injuries, hamstring injuries. And even without those, every quarterback becomes a little less mobile the older you get. It is just a reality. So if you're designing an offense around deeper routes, longer developing routes, holding on to the football, you better make sure that the protection is there. Otherwise, you're asking for trouble, and you better have a really good backup quarterback. We've talked about that. So look, now let's flip the conversation just a little bit. Maybe, just maybe, the offensive line won't have to hold blocks as long. Why? Because explosive threats change defenses. Safeties can't crowd the line of scrimmage. Corners have to respect vertical speed. Linebackers have to hesitate to read the play once you've got a couple of those past them. Pass rushers can't pin their ears back every snap if they're worried about play action. Sometimes the best pass protection is fear. Fear that you're about to get burned over the top. If Schottenheimer could force defenses to defend all 53 yards of width and every inch of the field vertically, the offensive line might actually look better than we expect it to be. And that's on coaching. That's on scheme. And that's why this new season fascinates me. And then let's not forget the running game. Javonte Williams looks good. We hope Jaden Blue can bring some explosive speed. Suddenly play action becomes a legitimate weapon again. Play action slows down pass rushers. Play action will freeze linebackers. Play action will create windows. And Dak has always been outstanding throwing off play action. We just haven't seen a lot of it recently. This offense doesn't necessarily need to throw deep 20 times a game. Sometimes all you need is the threat of throwing deep. It can do the same thing. But in order to have the threat, you have to complete a couple of them. Now, what's my biggest concern through all of this? Aggressiveness is great. Recklessness is not. There's a fine line between aggressiveness and recklessness. Cowboys don't need Dak forcing throws into double coverage just because they're trying to be explosive. That's not aggressive. That's reckless. Explosive offenses still protect the ball. They attack, but they attack intelligently. And that's where Schottenheimer will earn his paycheck, finding the balance between the aggressiveness and the recklessness. Knowing when to take the shot, knowing when to take the check down, and you keep the defense on their heels. Keep them guessing. So where do I land on all of this? I absolutely love this direction. I feel like for too long the Cowboys have not played this whole thing loose. The NFL rewards teams with explosive offenses. And you don't beat elite teams. You don't win in the playoffs with every drive being a 17-play drive. Eventually, you've got to hit somebody over the top. Eventually, you got to score in 3 plays instead of 13. And Dak, I think, still has that ability. I think this receiver room has the ability. The question, and it's a massive question, is whether the offensive line develops quickly enough to make it all work. Because if they do, this offense could be one of the most entertaining we've seen in Dallas for years and years and years. And if they don't, Cowboys fans may spend another season watching Dak Prescott pick himself up off the artificial turf in Arlington. That's my take. Now I want yours. Do you think Brian Schottenheimer's new offense will unlock Dak Prescott's cheat code? Or do you think this approach puts him in danger behind an offensive line that still has way too much to prove, way too much to trust? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit me up on social media at IndyCarTim. The show is at Cowboys Daily Pod. We'd love to have you follow both of us, and we'll follow you back, I promise. There's one thing I'm good at doing, it's following. By the way, interesting tidbit. We didn't make it really part of the show. I noticed on Monday, yesterday, Tony Romo came out. I forget who he was talking to or what show he was on. His biggest regret in Dallas. What do you think his biggest regret is? What's the commercial? Captain Obvious? I think it's a travel site or something. Captain Obvious. His biggest regret, he says, in Dallas is not bringing a Super Bowl to the Cowboys. Really? You think, Tony? You think? Like we didn't know that. I'm glad you think you have to make news on July, 12th. Go play some golf. I love Tony. I really do. I just think that was really funny to say. That's like me coming on here and saying, hey, you know what, guys? If I shave my beard, I won't have one. Duh. I just thought it was funny. Anyway. Make sure you drop your comments here, and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all of them. Share this with every Cowboys fan you know. We'll be back tomorrow on Wednesday with another edition of the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz right here on FanStream Sports, keeping you up to date on everything happening with America's team. Until next time, I'm IndyCarTim, and we'll see you.